ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामीनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। Hare Krishna. This is my first presentation of Module 1, and I'm so excited. I'm so grateful for this opportunity to glorify the great devotee of Krishna, Narad Muni, and hope everything is visible. Yeah, so recording and slide sharing. Okay, so I choose this topic. It says the success story of Sadhaka in bracket life of Narad Muni. Narad Muni is an interesting devotee of Krishna, and the interesting thing about his is he's everywhere. He's in the all scripture. He's in the almost all cantos of Bhagavatam. He's in Bhagavad Gita, he's in Bhagavatam, he's in Chaitanya Charitamrita, and each canto of Bhagavatam is there. Also, Narad Muni is one of the Mahajans. Mahajan is one who knows the mind of Krishna. So Narad Muni is there, and in various places, Narad Muni is always there. So let's see. Today, I'll try my best to glorify pure devotee of Krishna. So the title is Success Story of Sadhaka, and I divided this title in three parts. So first one is Sadhaka, second one is his story, and third one is his success. So this is how the whole flow presentation. I'll try to cover everything about Narad Muni, lessons, practical applications, trying to give some analogy so that things can get more clear. So in the first step, and Sadhaka step, we'll discuss about the lives of Narad Muni. So Prabhupada mentioned two to three lives of Narad Muni in Bhagavatam, but there are one another life mentioned in the different scripture. So we'll go through the whole life of Narad Muni. Second part is story. So what's the message? What's the importance for us? What we need to learn from Bhagavatam, from the story of Bhagavatam, from the story of Narad Muni, from the first canto. So in the second section, story part, we'll try to cover that the instruction given by Narad Muni to Vyasadev and what was the conversation going on there, and we draw some lessons there. The third part is success. Once the Bhaktivedanta left Narad Muni's place, and what happened with the Narad Muni, how did he become successful, how did he had this opportunity to have personal darshan of Lord. So this is how I describe this whole presentation in three part, and we'll go through the whole journey, and we'll try to cover in 40 to 60 minutes. Yeah. So we have different pranam mantras for different personalities. So for example, Lord Krishna is Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate. For Radharani, we have Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi, Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari. We have pranam mantra for everyone. So what is the pranam mantra for Narad Muni? I found this pranam mantra from Padma Puran, one devotee told me. And this pranam, the location and place of this pranam mantra is Lord Krishna is offering obeisances to Narad Muni and in presence of Ugrasen. So this is where this pranam mantra is coming from, and this pranam mantra is Utsangat Brahmano Jato Yasyam Hamta Navidyate Agupta Shruti Charitriam Naradam Tam Namamyam Naradam Dam Namamyam. So Lord Krishna is offering obeisances to Narad Muni in presence of Ugrasena, and Krishna is saying Utsangat Brahmano Jato. That means Utsangat, that means lap. Brahmano means Brahma, and Jato means one who born. So Narad Muni born from Brahma's lap. Second line is Yasya Ahamta Navidyate. That means one who doesn't have Ahamta, the false ego, one who is free from the false ego. The third line is Agupta Shruti Charitriyam. Agupta means revealed. Gupta means secret, hidden. And Agupta means is not secret, it's revealed. It's like open. Shruti means scripture, and Charitriam, his character. So his character is not something someone needs to cover or hide in, but he is like open book. So his character is given throughout all the scripture. And the fourth line, Naradam Tam Namamyaham. So to this Narad, I am offering my obeisances. So this is given in the Padma Purana, and this is obeisances of Narad Muni. So now we'll see, after offering obeisances, we'll see life of Narad Muni, how Narad Muni's life go through the different phases. So in the Bhagavatam, Prabhupada covers three life: Gandharvas, Shudra, and then actual Narad Muni, one who's traveling with the Veena. So Brahma's son, first topic, Narada, first time in the beginning of creation, he appeared. I would not say born, but appeared from Brahma's lap. It's given in the Brahma Vaivarta Purana. And this is the reference where Brahma, first part, Brahma begins to do some creation. And in that creation, Narada was the one who came with the 10 rishis. And then Narada, so the two places is there. So one is in this Brahma Vaivarta Purana says that Narada appeared from Brahma's lap. And the third canto, we see that Narada appeared from Brahma's intelligence, which is the best part of his body. So there are two references. I'm covering this story from Brahma Vaivarta Purana. It says Narada appeared, and since Brahma has this duty to do creation service, so Brahma instructed the same thing to Narada, that okay, you appeared, but now you have to do creation. And Narada says, Amruta chodi visha mage bada murkha. Narada said, I have this opportunity, this life is for serving Krishna, and how can I go away from this path? I don't want to do this, and I just want to dedicate my whole life in devotional service of Lord Vishnu or Krishna. So because Narada disobeyed Brahma, Brahma was angry and he cursed that next life you will go and take birth as a Gandharva. So Narada come down from the planet, Brahma's planet, he come down and he took birth as a Gandharva, and Bhagavatam mentions his name was Upabarhana. And being a Gandharva, as we know that Gandharva, or all the celestial personalities, they have powerful qualities. So for example, Narada was Gandharva. So being a Gandharva, he could sing very nicely. And he was so beautiful since he was born. So because of this quality, sometime it mentioned in the scripture, he was getting proud. That even Bible says that proud comes before one's fall. So this is same thing is going to happen in his life. When he was as a Gandharva, he was trying to attract someone's attention, especially opposite gender, and this behavior was not like quite appropriate being a Gandharva. So one day, Prajapatis, they invite everyone for Sankirtan in the upper higher planetary system. Usually that doesn't happen in the upper planetary system because everyone is busy in sense enjoyment and sense gratification. So having this festival is a rare thing in upper planetary system. That's why even devotee, they don't want to go there. They say like, we are ready to go to hell for sake of service, but we don't want to go to upper or higher planetary system because there are so much of sense gratification, and because of this, we may divert from serving our Lord. So that's why devotee doesn't like to go there. So this is the lesson. And because Narad Muni was there and he was invited by this, Prabhupada used this word in the 7th canto, chapter number 15, verse number 69 to 73, in this zone, that Sankirtan festival. Sankirtan means everyone was like gathered to get glorify Lord, and demigod was also invited in that assembly. and Prajapatis. They were the host for this assembly, and they invited this Narada. And what Narada did here in this assembly, he came with his friends, and he started singing. He meant to sing or glorify Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna, but he diverted and he started glorifying demigods. And in that purport, Prabhupada writes, Narada sing some cinema song in seventh canto. So yeah, this is, we can see, this is the effect of the bad or negative consciousness when we are like proud of what we have. So for example, Narad Muni has beauty, Narad Muni has a really good skill. So Narad Muni was proud because of this ability. And since he was proud, he started glorifying demigods. And because of his misbehave, the Prajapatis, they were got angry and they cursed Narad Muni to go and take birth as a Shudra and come down in the planetary system. So we know the story usually, and we're gonna more focus in the future about his life as a Shudra. So Narada took birth in the Shudra home. He got a chance in rainy season to serve Bhakti Vedantas, and he got the mercy. And after getting that mercy, after end of this kalpa, after end of this life, he left this body, and from next kalpa, he directly appeared as a Narad Muni. So this was his life. So in fourth step, this was whole Narad Muni's life, from Shudra, and then the actual being Narad Muni with the playing, holding Veena that we see in the picture. And then we'll focus in next slide. Yeah. So in this slide, before we go to the actual story of Narada, which is life of Narada as a Shudra boy, and how he turned into pure devotee and how he became like successful devotees. So just to give some context, like how we end up in this situation. So the whole story begins with the Bhagavatam, begins with the Vyasadev's lamentation. So Vyasadeva was sitting there, he brought all the Vedas, all the scriptures, and they say like Brahma gave all the Vedas from his body, and Vyasadeva divided the whole Veda in 4 sections. Yajurveda, Atharvaveda, Rigveda, and Samveda, as we know. And Narada divided this whole 4 Veda and gave it his student like Jaimini and Pillai. So like this, he gave all this work to his student, and this student also gave this work to their student. So this is how Brahma, the Vyasadeva was so intelligent, being a incarnation of Lord. So he did all perfect thing in his life. This is a really good lesson for sadhaka like me, or that even though if you have like great skill, there are still some chances to fall in the material world and to get bewildered or to have some anxiety and lamentation. So here Vyasadeva wrote everything, and he was lamenting that why my heart is not satisfied yet, because he was thinking there is still some lacking. I want to serve people, but there is still some lacking. And while doing his lamentation, while he was still asking for some questions and looking for some answers, but it was difficult for him. And at the same time, Narad Muni appeared there. Yes, they were sitting there in the bank of river Saraswati. And this is what happened in our life. When we are sincere and serious enough to render devotional service or to do something better for higher cause, even though we don't have enough help, even though we don't have certain accessibility and instruments, Krishna or Lord appear or arrange things that suits our needs, that facilitates all the requirement or necessaries to render that service. And this is what happened in, I've heard from many devotees that they say like, oh, I was like, before coming to Krishna consciousness, I was like really bad person. I had all the bad habits, but I was still curious to know about life. I want to do something. And somehow devotee appeared in my life. They gave me book or they gave me some prasada. And from that point, my whole life changed. So this is what gonna happen in the Vyasadev's life, that he was lamenting and Narad Muni appeared. And what happened once Narad Muni appeared, the first thing that, excuse me, the first thing Narad Muni did, that he appreciated Vyasa's work, that whatever he did, Mahabharata, Puran, all the Vedas. So this is the great quality of a teacher, that first he sees the student and they recognize what things gonna make him angry. Excuse me. what things gonna make him encourage in order to perform his services. So that's when Narad Muni Narad Muni appeared there, and first he said like he appreciated his work, Vyasdev's work, and then Vyasdev was said, okay, this is good, but I'm still suffering. Please give me some solution. Being a Narad Muni spiritual master, he knew the mind of Vyasadeva, but still Vyasadeva asked that, please help me. I'm struggling here. How can I come out of this dissatisfaction and lamentation? And then Narad Muni said that this is where the conversation happened. And in the beginning of the conversation, Narad Muni said, you put so much emphasis on dharma, artha, karma, moksha, and you didn't enough glorify to Lord Krishna and his movement. So Narad Muni suggested him to glorify Lord Krishna. And for that, he mentioned there is a verse in 5th chapter, verse number 11, Tadvag Visargo Janataga Viplavo Yasmin Prati Shlokam Abhatya Vitapi Namanyanantascha Yashonkitani Yat Shrunavanti Gayanti Grunanti Sadhava. It says Tadvag Visargo, they say like Tadvag Visargo Janata Viplavo. Viplavo means revolution. Janata means in people, in society. There's gonna be like big revolution. Tadvag Visargo Janata Viplavo. Yasmin Prati Shloka Abadya Vyatapi. In that every verse, every syllable, every line, though it's full of mistake, primarily problems and this, that, everything is there. It's not perfect or proper grammatically or rhymingly, but still, why? But still, what happened? Janatag Viplo, Yasmin Prati Shlokam, Abadyavetepi, Namanya Anantascha, Yasho Ankitani Yat. This very verses, this glorification of Lord, it covers name, fame, and pastime of Lord Krishna. That's why Yasmin Prati Shloka Abadyavetepi, and everyone is gonna, the saintly person have received this. Shrunavanti Gayanti, Grunanti Sadhava. That means they heard it, they sang it, and they accepted. Saintly person. So this is what happened when we glorify Krishna's glory. And Narad Muni instruct him, Vyasadeva, to glorify Lord Krishna in their literature, rather dharma, artha, karma, moksha. And there is also really nice description given between material scripture and spiritual scriptures. So this is how Narad Muni gives his instruction in brief. And then Narad Muni says, this is another second great quality of teacher. They don't just say, okay, go and this is what you have to do. No, the great teacher is one who shows by the example. That's why they call Acharya. So Narada, just to prove that glorifying Lord can mitigate all the miseries of the normal people, and it's satisfy hankering of those who are like intellectual person. So that's why Narad Muni explain his own life. That's where we start beginning or explaining Narad Muni's life. So now we are in the flow. So first Vyasadev's lamentation, and then Narad Muni came, he gave him solution. And just to prove that solution, Narad Muni quotes his own life as an example so that things can get more easier for Vyasadeva. So from this point, we'll see life of Narad Muni. So what was the life of Narad Muni, the Shudra boy? So this is the point where Narad Muni puts himself in the devotional service procedure and he's gonna achieve the spiritual success. So in the beginning, Narad Muni mentions quality, that why he was special. So because he has certain qualities, so we see quality in the next slide, because I kept all the qualities in one side separately so that I can explain and it like better. But Narad Muni begin, the point is Narad Muni begin his life explaining as a quality and being a maid servant. And there Prabhupada writes something about initiation, that whatever quality is mentioned by Narad Muni, Prabhupada says those who are inspiring for initiation, one should develop this quality for their initiation. Otherwise, even though if you are initiated, but if you don't have this quality, you're not gonna get spiritual success. So this is what Prabhupada said. And by developing this quality, because of this quality, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also mentioned 2 points about mercy. So there are two, it's mentioned by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur that, and first point was about mercy was, it was not like Narad Muni as a Shudra boy, even his name is given Ramdas in the Padma Puran. So it's not like this Shudra boy had this quality, that's why he received mercy. But this is other way around. If we see the first canto, second chapter, all the qualities in the Subodhani, Sri Swarandarshan Prabhu is compared, all the 9 qualities compared to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's 14 qualities. So in 14 quality, first is Mahat Krupa, Satam Krupa, and Mahat Seva. So Satam Krupa means causeless mercy of Krishna's pure devotee. And then once they have mercy, they perform some devotional service. And from there, Shraddha begins. So these are like points. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, because Bhakti Vedantas, they were devotees of Krishna, they were pure devotee, and they didn't see this quality, but still they give the mercy. And since Narad Muni, as a young boy, had these qualities, his mercy expand. So say, for example, first there was a mercy given by Bhaktivedantas, and then Narad Muni had this quality. So this quality is not like Narad had this quality, that's why he got mercy. No, they got this mercy, and Narad had this quality already. So because of this quality, he get more mercy. So this is how quality and mercy goes hand in hand. So quality is not dependent on mercy. Mercy is not dependent on quality, but because of the quality, one can get more mercy. So mercy, quality, more mercy because of the quality. And then if you develop more quality, you get more mercy. So this is how quality and mercy goes hand in hand. And the second point, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur mentioned that sometimes the greatly person, they give mercy based on your qualities. And sometimes they do without any partiality. So in the first case, when they bestowed mercy based on quality, they may take it back. But those devotees who showed the mercy without any reason or causeless mercy, they don't take mercy back because they are within their heart, they are genuinely compassionate, like Prabhupada. So Prabhupada was, he went from India to USA, and he could see the situation. So Prabhupada showed mercy, and after that showing mercy, devotee sometimes make some mistake, but still Prabhupada with great compassion was helping them and like serving them, try to serve them. So this is what happened with the great soul of pure devotee. And because of these qualities and mercy, and because of this pastime, all the Bhaktivedantas came to Narad Muni's home, and they say it's Chaturmas. And Chaturmas, rainy season. So in rainy season, sannyasi usually they don't travel, and they got opportunity to stay in the home of Narad Muni. So Narad Muni lost his father in the very beginning, but Narad Muni and his mother, only 2 personalities were there in his home. And this Bhaktivedanta came and stayed there in the home of Narad Muni. And in the beginning, what Narad Muni did, he served them with the great qualities. And while he was serving, after taking their permission, Narad Muni took their remnants. And by this remnant, Narad Muni developed ruchis or taste to hear Harikatha. And because of this taste in Harikatha, Narad Muni develops rati. And because with this rati, Narad Muni heard all the Krishna Katha, Harikatha for 2 seasons, which was rainy season and autumn. And because Narad Muni heard all the pastimes of Krishna, Narad Muni developed prema. And based on Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, there are 14 steps, and the prema is 12th stage. After prema, there is darshanam, and 14th one, Harer Madhuryanubhava. That means experiencing Krishna's conjugal love. So Narad Muni was on 12th level after receiving the mercy. And in terms of remnant, Prabhupada mentioned there, even if one doesn't have permission from the sages or Krishna's pure devotee, one can take remnants without even asking. So yeah, Bhagavatam mentioned that Narad Muni took remnants with the permission, but Prabhupada said that one can take even without the permission, because this is a chance where we can get some extra mercy. And what happened after receiving this mercy, Narad Muni was fully absorbed in service. So his physical external body or gross body was completely engaged in the service of the Bhakti Vedantas, and the inner body, which is subtle body, always absorbed in thinking, feeling, and willing about Krishna's pastime, his name, his fame, and all the glories. So this is how Narad Muni's both gross body and subtle body was totally absorbed in service of Lord Krishna. And there is an analogy is given by Prabhupada that when one have this level of love for Krishna, they serve or they function in this world like a river goes toward the sea. In Kundi Maharani's prayer, Kundi Maharani says, Gange Vogam Udanvati, that she said, my mind, just give me mercy so that my mind goes, it's like a river Ganga, like unstoppable. Doesn't matter how many rocks are there, mountains are there, hurdles, so many things, but still, when one have that consciousness, that love for Krishna, at that time, all the flow, all the energy, all the devotion goes toward one direction, and that is Lord Krishna in form of devotional service. So this is how devotee develops strong and deep conviction about service, and the service goes like a river. So this analogy is given. Next one, as I mentioned, like in the beginning, Narad Muni explained all the qualities. So I made one full slide for all the qualities, so that we can have enough time for qualities. So Narad Muni begins with that, saying that I was attached to the sages. My behavior was gentle, and because I served them, all the sins were eradicated. And plus, I had strong faith, and I was inclined to serve regardless of situation. And Narad Muni was strictly following with their body and mind to all the sages, and his senses was controlled. So here we can see this is point which can put in the section of practical application out of the please formula. So this is the section where all the sadhaka, all the devotees struggling in their practices. So these are the point, these are the section that we all need to develop in our life. What Prabhupada says about this is these are necessary qualification of a prospective candidate who can expect to be elevated to the position of a pure devotee. And about this quality, I heard from while doing this research on this topic about Narad Muni, I heard the story from His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. And Radhanath Maharaj mentioned that when one develops this quality, or when one develops consciousness of being a servant of a servant of a servant, then three things happen with them. First thing, they taste Krishna in the prasadam. Second thing is, they develop deep connection with the Krishna's devotee. The third one is, Harikatha becomes enlivened. So this is the result. This is where we want to go in our life. We want to taste Krishna in prasadam, rather something else. We want to develop deep attachment to Vaishnavas. And the third one is, we want to see or being present in Krishna's pastime. So when Harikatha becomes enlivened, so this is the result, this is the success of a qualified candidate. Next. Yeah, from this point, Narad Muni was talking about scripture, Narad Muni talking about all the guidance. But from this point, Narad Muni talks about two different topics. And that covers under practical application of devotional service. So once Narad Muni explained everything, and then he said, yeah, this is how you can put in your practice. So there is no flow in the loop or in all the sequence. So Narad Muni came, Narad Muni explained about everything about devotional service. Narad Muni gave his example, and then he said, like, this is how you can put in the practice whatever I said. So Narad Muni said about karma yoga, and about karma yoga, the basic difference about normal action or devotional action. In the normal action, people wants something for themselves. They perform action for their sense gratification. But in the devotional activity or devotional service or karma yoga, they do everything for Krishna. So action is the same. Externally, you may see person is like working hard, like 12, 14, 16 hours. You may see, yeah, this is like totally karmic. This is not karma yogi, this is not devotee. But it's internal thing, it's intention. When person dedicates everything, whatever they done They don't have any attachment to their service, to their job, and they dedicate or give everything to Krishna. That becomes karma yoga. And for that, verse is given in Bhagavad Gita. Yagnarthat karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhana tadartham karma konteya mukta karma samachara. So this is from Bhagavad Gita, that yagnarthat karmanonyatra. Yagna means Lord Vishnu, Krishna. Agna arthat means for their sake. So when person they perform action, perform service for the satisfaction of Krishna, that is karma yoga. And even in the Bhagavatam, the verse is given that अतः द्विजश्रेष्ठ वर्णाश्रम विभागशः स्वानुष्ठितस्य धर्मस्य संसिद्धिर्हरितोषणम्. So all the occupation, whatever duties are there, it's only meant for samsiddhirharitoshanam, to please Lord Vishnu. So this is about karma yoga, and analogy is given that bowel movement. It's again by Prabhupada. And this is how normal action, if some action is there, if you don't know how to perform it back in the suitable manner, you may get entangled. But when you perform for Krishna, when you perform for pleasure of Lord Hari, at that time you deliver from all the reaction. So this is the benefit. And just to prove that, there's analogies given that bowel movement, it happens like sometimes person eats something like milk product especially, and they got some problem in their stomach, and they go to doctor, and what doctor say? To do the same thing, to use the same product, but they say now you use yogurt, which is another milk product, and yogurt, and put some masala or condiments, ingredients, and then you can have it. So here we can see problem is the milk, and solution is also milk product. Similarly, in the life of people, problem is the karma, solution is the same karma. So this is how the activities we perform, the same activity is able to deliver us just by changing consciousness, just by dedicating all the fruit to the Lord Krishna. Last example is given about needles. Like people usually fear from the needles, but they don't know this is the very same needles. It's gonna cure them from the disease. So for example, from disease. So this is how thing works in the karma yoga. The things which is meant to bind you, the same thing is meant to liberate you. The syringe meant to give you some pain, the same syringe after some time give you relief from the pain. And this was about karma yoga. And then Narad Muni gives their personal information about their personal mantra. And Narad Muni says about worshipping God in form of sound. And Narad Muni said that is the actual seer, those who worship Lord in form of sound incarnation. So this is the advice, another advice given by Narad Muni to Vyasadeva. And Narad Muni don't just give advice, also he mentioned or cover the personal experiences, what happened when they. So Narad Muni said that when we worship Lord, incarnation of sound, that's the person is the actual seer. And Narad Muni gives 3 benefits. So first he developed gnana. First he got gnana, and after having this gnana, he got all the opulences. And the third one is he got a chance to serve Lord. So there are 3 personal experiences mentioned by Narad Muni to Vyasadeva. And after glorifying all this pastime, Narad Muni gives 2 main benefits. So first benefit is for intellectual person, those who want to do some mental gymnastic. So Narad Muni said, if you glorify Lord in your books, so those who are inclined to read, those who are inclined to do intellectual things, they're gonna get satisfied by this hearing or by reading or by living Lord Krishna's pastime. And those who are miserable person, so their miseries will be mitigated by glorifying Lord Krishna's pastime. So this is practical application of devotional service given by Narad Muni, and here chapter 5 ends. And from this point, we'll see further. So after Narad Muni described all the application, how to apply this devotional service in personal life, Vyasadeva asked another questions. And this question is important. Vyasadeva asked 2 questions. So first question, how is that possible that you remember all these things? And the second question was, what did you do once you received all the mercy from the Bhakti Vedantas? They left your home. in the rainy season, but what's your journey afterwards? So Narad Muni is going to explain all these things. So the first question, let me answer here, though we'll discuss further, that Narad Muni could remember all these things only because of Krishna's mercy. Lord says that in the future, I'll mention in the future. And another thing, like what did Narad Muni do in this next life after once they get initiation? Prabhupada used this word initiation, and Prabhupada writes really beautiful commentary that every disciple should ask this question to the spiritual master. Sometimes people wonder that what should I ask my spiritual master? I don't know. He's like a great sannyasi. He's a great sannyasi, but I don't know what to say there, what to ask them. So for that purpose, Narad Muni gives this opportunity or explain what should one ask to their spiritual master, especially in terms of initiation. So now here, Narad Muni asked, like, what did you do after initiation? And Prabhupada used this term called Shad Dharma Pracha. This is called Shad Dharma Pracha, that every disciple should ask their spiritual master, what should I do after initiation? So Narad Muni goes on explaining his story. So he begins with their mother, his mother, and he said, like, my mother, I was the only object for my mother, for all the love, all the affection, but she was not fully independent because she was working for someone else and she had to be dependent on someone else. So that's why she was not able to show the all of proper love for me. And here, the analogy is given of wooden doll, that everyone on this planet is a wooden doll or instrument in the hand of puppeteer. So this is how Narad Muni's mother's life goes. And after some time, when she went for milking cow in the night, so in the dark period, she was bitten by snake and she left her body. And one devotee told me that he didn't just left her body, but she got liberated. So this was also benefit because she was serving Narad Muni and she was also engaged in service of Bhaktivedantas. So because of these reasons, she also got some liberation. After this, Narad Muni's mother left, and Narad Muni, this is really good instruction or personal application for everyone, those who are on the spiritual path, that how, if something happen in our lives, how to see things, how to see Krishna's hand, how to see Krishna's mercy. And Narad Muni said here that I took this incident, this pastime as a Krishna's mercy. And because of this quality, because of this consciousness, Narad Muni was not disturbed and he decided to travel further, go on journey. And before he travels, there's a mention in the Bhagavatam that he was staying in the Brahmana teacher's home. And once Narad Muni left his home and he started traveling city, town, gardens, metropolitans, and farmers, gardens, forests. So this is the travel of Narad Muni in synopsis. And there, Prabhupada mentioned interesting commentary that one is not word to word, I'm just explaining, paraphrasing what Prabhupada said, that one does not need to spend their time in searching of new technology and this and that and wasting their time. This is what happens usually in people's life. If something new comes in the update version or in the world, say for example, ChatGPT, say for example, some iPhone 16 new company. So people got like really excited about that thing. But Prabhupada said, this is the nature of this world. Even in the beginning of the creation, now, and even in the future, this thing gonna keep coming and going, coming and going. This is the nature of this world, and one does not need to waste their time behind all these unnecessary things. So this is what Prabhupada is advising about the nature of this world and how to function properly in this world so that we can advance in our spiritual life and we can keep ourselves secure or protect from the so-called material items, material nature. So this is the nature we need to learn here. And then Narad Muni goes on travel, and then Narad Muni ends up doing, he was tired, he was completely tired, and he had to take some rest. So he went to the river, he drank some water, and he sat under a banyan tree for long-term meditation. And yeah, this was the plan of Narad Muni, but in the very beginning, Narad Muni had the opportunity to have darshan of Lord within his heart. So after a very short time, Narad Muni had this darshan. And what happened once Narad Muni had darshan? Narad Muni showed all the bodily changes, which was rolling down tears from his eyes. Her bodily limbs was separately enlivened. And he was like overpowered by happiness. So these are the symptoms of these are the symptoms when Narad Muni saw in his heart Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Narad Muni used the meditation which was given by Bhaktivedantas. So the process was there, and result, he received the mercy. So this is what happened in our life, sadhaka's life. When we take shelter of spiritual master, when we serve them, and then we receive initiation, that means we receive mercy, and then we serve further, become more strong, we become more firm in our devotional service, in our nishtha. At that time, Lord gives his darshan. That is like, and in another word, we can say like after leaving this life, we can go back to Godhead. So this is the really relevant message for everyone practicing devotees. So, and this in meditation, after some time, Lord quickly appeared and quickly disappeared. And once Lord disappeared, Narad Muni was so devastated. He was like completely disturbed. What to do? He opened his eye. He watched outside. Where is the Lord? Where is the Lord? He was finding, and he again tried to do meditation the same way, but he was not successful. And there, Prabhupada writes, it is not that one can see Lord by their own mental gymnastic. Lord gives his darshan by his own mercy. So this is a message for us. And next, after some time, after all this try, Narad Muni heard this voice, and this voice was from Lord. And Lord said that in this life you're not going to see me again. And Lord also gave two reasons, that you are incomplete in service, and you are not pure enough of material attachments. There, Prabhupada write amazing commentary. Says like it was not that Narad Muni, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he wrote that Narad Muni was not like after material things. Otherwise, how Lord would give him darshan? So logically, it was not correct thing. So Narad Muni was pure. He didn't have any attachment because he was on the level of prema, remember? So he was on a level of prema. So that's why Lord gave him darshan. And this is what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur wrote. And the second thing mentioned about his service, that yeah, it's here. So Lord gave two reasons: purification and service. So service, purification, we can see the Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary. And about service, so there are really good structure or analogy. There are really good explanations given by Prabhupada that two types of service in this world: material service and spiritual services. So material service, people want to get rid of it. So for example, if someone is like 60 or working somewhere in the bank or somewhere in the world, so they want some retirement, they want some time, they want some space. They are just like fed up of all the whole life that given to the particular work. But on the other hand, when someone serve Lord or someone do some devotional service, the hankering increases age as age increases. So for example, if they are like 30, 40, 50, 60, so with all these changes of age, their love, their devotion goes up, high and high. Example, we can say Vidurji. Vidurji was old, but still he was like wanted to hear Harikatha. So that's why he made the whole inquiry to Uddhavji, and then Uddhava direct him to Maitreya Muni. So this is what happened. This is the example of service in this world, spiritually and material service. So it was not that Narad Muni was not pure, or he didn't serve enough. But this was just Lord did this because just to increase his hankering and increase his humility. So this is about conversation between Lord and Narad Muni. And after that, Lord also elaborates or glorifies his own devotional service. He says like service for short time. If we service like even for short time, after leaving this body, they definitely gonna attain me. But service must be like pure devotional service. So even if like someone has small amount of devotional service they have rendered in their life, so there are high chance go back on back to Godhead. And the second thing, Lord says that time cannot destroy devotional service. So you will remember me by my mercy. So remember, this was the question was asked by Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva said that Vyasadeva asked two questions. What did you do once your mother left? And how did you remember all these things? So we discussed what did Narad Muni did in his life after her mother depart, and what was the cause, what was the reason that Narad Muni remember all these things. And next, we'll see the success of Narad Muni's life. So this is third part. Remember, in the beginning, I'll show again. Here we discuss sadhaka, various birth, life, story of Narad Muni, instruction and conversation between Narad Muni and Vyasadeva. And now we are in the third part, which is success. We already covered travel and meditation, and now we are towards conclusion. So here we'll see the conclusion. So this is the success. This is where everyone wants to come. This is the point where devotee usually directs their life. So Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 6th chapter, verse number 26 says that I repeatedly chanted the Lord's name and fame, ignoring all formalities of this world, and thus being satisfied, humble and non-envious. So this is what we want. We want to be satisfied. First of all, we want to repeatedly glorify Lord's name or his glory and fame. Second one, we don't want miseries of this world. Then we want to be satisfied and humble and non-envious. So this is the result. This is the culmination of all devotional service. And there Prabhupada writes, the life of a sincere devotee of the Lord is thus explained. So this is how our life. So where we attain this level, we can say, yeah, someone is success. So this is the criteria, this is our destination, this is our goal. So after saying this, Narad Muni explained his last phase, which was how he left body. So Narad Muni keep traveling, keep meditating on Lord. And at the end of the creation, end of the Kalpa, Narad Muni merged in Lord's body with the Brahma. This is how he complete his present life, which was as a Shudra. Remember, still he was in the level of Prema. And then in the next Kalpa, when Lord again breathed out, Narad Muni appeared with the 10 another rishis. So, and in this life is a beautiful that he appeared, and Lord also gave him as his veena. And in that Vena's pastime, I'm not sure it's, I think it's verse number around 32 or 33, where Prabhupada writes that about Saregamapa, that one should use this Saregamapa, this melody, to glorify Lord and not for other purpose. So this is about Narad Muni's fourth life, when he appeared from Lord's body with his 10 brother, with his Veena, and he was traveling as a spaceman. And there, one analogy is given about rich man. We are in the success part of the presentation. So the analogy is given about rich man and red hot iron. So rich man analogy is Prabhupada writes there in the purport that rich man doesn't lament or hanker for small or petty things. So similarly, when devotee is rich, not materially or physically, but devotionally, spiritually, internally, he doesn't lament for small little petty thing of this world. And even the reference is given in the Bhagavad Gita, 1854, na sochati na kankshati, brahma bhuta prasannatma, na sochati na kankshati, samah sarveshu bhuteshu, mad bhakti lavate param. So this is the result. This is what we want, that we don't want any single attachment, any single thread of attachment in this world. So we want to give our full self to Lord. So this is the final conclusion. This is our goal, that we want to become a rich man, but not physically, materially, or financially, but devotionally. So this was one analogy, and the second analogy is red hot iron is given. What happened, like when one spent his whole life thinking or being Krishna conscious or serving in devotional service. So at the end of life, Prabhupada writes that he lives his life as a spark or illumination. That means like without any pain, without any problem, miseries. It's like a quick. So this is the red hot iron analogy is given that if we put like iron for a long time in the fire, the iron rod attains same quality as fire. This iron rod is not like become fire completely, but it attains all the qualities of fire. So this is what happened when we perform devotional service throughout the whole life, and when we achieve success, we give up this material body and we instantly take the spiritual body. So this is red hot iron analogy, and with this we conclude our presentation with two conclusive instructions given by Narad Muni. And the first one is Harikatha is the most suitable board for sense gratifiers. So those people who want some enjoy in this material world, Prabhupada says that people want to have thinking, feeling, and willing in their life. But why people are suffering? Because they use this thinking, feeling, and willing in their own sense gratification. But when the very same thing, thinking, feeling, and willing, when we turn towards spirituality, turn towards Krishna service, that gives us proper happiness. And the second point Prabhupada mentioned, soul affected by lust and greed is not as satisfied by other yogas as it's by devotional service to Lord Krishna. So this is the final conclusion, instruction given by Narad Muni. And last thing is relevancy. How does this thing is relevant for people, those who are reading first time for Narad Muni's past time? So as I mentioned in the beginning that in the Bhagavatam there are 9 steps given, although Shraddha, Sadhu, Sangha, Tatha Bhajan Kriya, Shraddha, Sadhu, Sangha, Bhajan Kriya, then Anartha Nivruti, Nishtha, Asakti, Bhava, Prema. So it's 9, yeah. So 9 steps is given on advance, based on advancing on devotional service. And the other side, Vishwanath Chakravarti Tagore also mentioned total 14 stages. I can't remember all the 14, but I remember first 2 and last 2. So Shraddha comes because of Satam Krupa, when devotee unconditionally gives mercy, bestowed mercy. So this is the reason, this is the seed. And because of this mercy, one is inclined to serve devotees. So when one have Satam Krupa and when one serve devotees, so in the conclusion, they go up to the last and they put themselves, of course, in the devotional service, like chanting and bhajan kriya, all these things. And finally, they're gonna have prema, or the other side, Chakravarti Thakur says Hare Madhuryanu. That means Krishna's the feeling of Krishna's intimacy or intimate love. So this is the goal. So this is where we can make this thing relevant and take people out from their miserable situation by applying all these steps, which we can see in the life of Narad Muni as a Shudra boy, to become finally achieve this final result. In the same time, we see different references, different example, like Valmiki. So he was a hunter. He was doing all type of nonsense. Then Guru appeared in his life, and he gave his mantra. And then Valmiki served his Guru, his mantra. And even before Lord Ram appeared, Valmiki wrote whole Lord Ram's life, which is Ram Katha. So this is happened when we like serve, when we put ourselves in devotional service. So this is how it's relevant. This is how it can transform one's life. In the beginning, it's like maybe it's chaotic, but the end result is beautiful. And the same we can see in the life of Vishwamitra. He was the Brahmarshi. So Vishwamitra, before he was Kshatriya, but then later on he became Brahmana, and he attained the stage of Brahman realization. Similarly, many examples is given in the Bhagavatam, again, through Maharaj. So all this thing is there, and this is how this thing can change or convert someone's life in a really better way. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So I'll conclude my presentation here. We covered all these 3 things: Sadhaka's life, quote from Padma Puran, and various 4 different births from Narad Muni. We saw conversation between Vyasadeva and Narad Muni. What was the result of conversation? The glorification of Lord. And we also see what did Narad Muni do? What did Narad Muni does after all this traveling, and what was the conclusion? Here it's a conclusion that we wanna achieve spiritual world. we wanna go back to our back home. And Hare Krishna.